Currently, we have a plethora of medicine available, lot of protocol available, and anytime patient come to clinic or to hospital, we just jump on those protocol without understanding that what this patient truly need. So rather than focusing on diagnosis, here we focus on how can we prevent these diagnoses to occur on a first place.
Welcome to Intentional Medicine with Dr. Priti Singh, the podcast where we explore what it truly means to design health inside a system built to manage disease. Modern healthcare is incredible at crisis intervention. We've built a system that excels at disease management and underperforms at prevention. And when it comes to long-term vitality, prevention, and intentional design, many patients tend to feel underserved. Dr. Singh is an internal medicine physician, physician advisor, and founder of Eterna Wellness MD. After years inside hospital systems and healthcare leadership, she began asking a powerful question. What would medicine look like if it were practiced intentionally? So in this first episode, we're going to define what intentional medicine actually means and why it matters now more than ever. So Dr. Singh, I'm so excited to kick off this first episode with you and get into the big picture. So shall we jump in? I'm so excited. How do you feel to be here?
I'm delighted to be here. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So I think this is definitely so important. Being you're an intentional medicine provider, and so many people have these issues, and it doesn't really get the light and the conversation that it deserves. So I think that's super important that we're talking about it. So let's jump into why is modern medicine excellent at crisis, but underperforming at prevention?
Great question, Lala. So let me put a scenario over here. Have you ever been in a hospital or a clinic appointment where you feel that you were rushed, you were unheard, or you were told you were fine when you were not feeling fine?
Most times. think
And trust me, yeah. So, your feelings are valid and your frustration is genuine, and you are not the alone in this.
Absolutely. I think that that's something I've actually worked in healthcare at different various points of my life, and a lot of it more on the administration side or the tech side of things. But it's a common complaint that we would hear. And even working as an admin at certain times and scheduling and seeing what the doctors have to go through and then seeing the patient struggles, I can definitely see how, all these issues really work and people feeling rushed and doctors not having the time that they want with their patients. And I know you've worked inside hospital systems and healthcare leadership as well. So when did you personally realize something really needed to change?
I must say, Laila, there was no as such dramatic moment that I felt, oh my God, or I had any epiphany, or eureka moment that I decided that system is not working well, or it is not functioning well to achieve its objective. I must say that it was a gradual realization over a period of time. I have spent my whole life in hospital medicine and in healthcare administration. I have seen these how the system operate, and trust me, that is a very serious work. Hospital every day they save thousands, millions of lives, and hospital itself is a very complex system. So I have been part of those boardroom meetings, crucial conversation where we discussed safety and quality metrics, operational performance. So that is a serious one. But at the same time, I also noticed that we placed a stent in one patient, and then couple of months, later, we again see that patient in hospital putting either another stent or, doing the bypass surgery. And at the same time, in community, I have seen people around me who are very, energetic, vibrant, and all of a sudden, they started feeling dull, lack of energy. They are not able to concentrate because they are aging. And I must say, Laila, there is something, personal here as well. When I was seeing, the life unfolding around me, I saw something personal changing too. I was aging, my husband was aging, my family, my friend, they were aging. But I just feel like I still have so much to contribute, whether it comes to healthcare or in community. So why should I feel like less energetic or, feel fatigue or not to, contribute to my fullest potential? And these are the moments when I started questioning, I started thinking deeper that when did we started accepting deterioration as inevitable thing? Even during COVID, the
Mhm.
as a system, we stepped up, we invented a vaccine and we addressed that, pandemic. But now I feel like the aging, we are kind of normalizing it. I was told, that, oh, you know what? That is just the aging. I'm sure you heard that or your family member heard that too, right? So
Absolutely.
these are the moment, I felt, no, at least I'm personally not going to accept it. And through my experience in healthcare leadership, I understand how the current healthcare system function. It excels in crisis management. We are last, couple of decades, we have transformed the healthcare system. The mortality or the morbidity has tremendously reduced, but when it comes to chronic diseases, I'm sorry, we struggle.
Mhm.
You will be surprised to hear that 6 in 10 adult in US have at least one chronic disease.
Wow.
And 90% of our healthcare expenditure goes into managing the chronic diseases, not preventing them, managing the chronic diseases. So these were the moment when I felt like, I think myself, my family, and people, community, they need more than acute care. The question they are asking that not what the diagnosis they have, the question they are asking, how can you prevent us reaching to the diagnosis level? And these were the moment when I felt, no, we need something more than that. And that's what, I dive deeper and look what exactly was missing in healthcare. And I felt that it's an intentional part of the medicine that we are lacking currently.
Absolutely. And speaking about intentional medicine, what is intentional medicine exactly? And how is it different from traditional care?
Great question again, Laila. So you know what? I don't want to confuse anyone. Right now we have one side traditional medicine. On other side, we have functional medicine, longevity medicine, precision medicine. And now here I'm talking about another phrase called intentional medicine. So just to break your surprise, this is not any other curriculum. This is not another, the medical literature that I'm referring to. It is just a different way of thinking. It's the same medicine, but how do we truly want to practice? It is a medicine where we are asking to be a little bit more proactive, precise, preventive, and more, cautious what and understanding what people are truly going through. So rather than focusing on diagnosis, here we focus on how can we prevent these diagnoses to occur on the first place. How can we make sure that we provide tools to the people so that they don't only live disease free, but they thrive in their life? So it is just another way of, practicing the medicine, which is more strategic, more preventive, and more regenerative.
And speaking about intentional medicine and being intentional, why is it so important that you emphasize sleep, metabolism, and nervous system regulation before advanced treatments?
So intentional medicine, when we talk about intentional medicine, I just feel like there are 4 pillars of intentional medicine. The first thing, we talk about foundation first. And why the foundation first? No matter, how advanced therapy you introduced, and that is what's happening right now. The medical science has advanced a lot. We have so many advanced therapy, protocol, medication, but at the same time, the disease, the people, disease people, they are climbing up too. the morbidity is increasing day by day. So what is happening? Why despite us advance so much in, medicine, we are still not able to prevent the illness because we are not focusing on foundation. So before you intervene anything, I just feel like some of the basic thing like your nutrition, your sleep, your energy, these need to be stabilized first because they provide a foundation for higher level of treatment. And then second part of intention medicine is measure what matters. So one side, I look at the traditional medicine where we do couple of tests and reach to the, the diagnosis that, okay, this patient had cardiac disease, this patient has a stroke, and we immediately put all energy to, treat that condition. And on the other hand, I was in another the gathering, and one person was telling me that there is a latest lab company came in market, and they are checking 500 biomarkers. And I said, "What next?" They said, "We don't know what to do about that." So you know what? That's the other piece. Over or under, both are detrimental for when we talk about the prevention. So measure what matters because we are not looking for the point diagnosis. We are looking for the pattern. We are looking the pattern that can tell us where your health is heading so that we can intervene to prevent it going in a downhill. Um, the third pillar that I feel very crucial and a very important part of intentional medicine is personalize intelligently. Why personalize? I just feel like that that is such an important factor. Currently, we have the, plethora of medicine available, lot of protocol available. And anytime patient come to clinic or to hospital, we just jump on those, protocol without understanding that what this patient truly need. What's this patient? Because, we are the result of, we all have a different genetic makeup. And along with that, we all have a different environmental exposures. You eat differently than I eat, you have a different kind of a stress level than I. And not only that, even in my own personal journey, I feel differently, behave differently at a different stage of my life. So it is very important that, we treat people where they are and what they truly need. So we need to kind of tailor the medicine to meet the people personal or unique, the requirements. And the last piece of intentional medicine is regenerate with responsibility. And I want to stress on this piece. The reason is right now there is so much available. You go to social media and you hear everything, right? One side you hear peptide, you hear very, fancy advanced medicine and tools, machine. I just say that, that as a medical, and I think being a physician, it is my moral responsibility to educate our patients, to educate population that, everything is not for you. We want to not only, restore your vitality, but we want to do it with lot of responsibility so that, that particular treatment protocol is safe for you and deliver what you truly, aspire to achieve through that protocol.
Absolutely. And it's true because going back to your last point, everyone is so different in every single way between genetics and makeups and, like you said, even, where they are with their stress. It's almost impossible how we're expected to treat one person the same way we're treating another person. So it is something that needs to be really discussed and worked on because everyone is so different. That why would one thing work for one person and be expected to work for someone else as well? And speaking about being intentional and also medications and procedures and things like that, what happens when we actually skip the intentional part and jump straight to medication or procedures? And what is the real cost of reactive medicine?
Again, great question. So the cost of reactivity is tremendous. It is not only limited to human life, but the time, the health span that they missed because of the reactivity component. So the healthcare currently, patient enter into the clinic or hospital, we just jump into the conclusion based on the lab or the imaging that is available to us. And then we introduce the treatment and the medication. And some of the treatment medication can have side effect. Some of the treatment medication or the procedure that we eventually do can be mitigated if we are little bit intentional and ask the right questions like why this person is having this thing on the first place. Diseases don't appear, all of sudden. They are no surprises. There are, 10 to 12 years, some event that cascade down and led to the, those diseases. Simple example, diabetes. You see the diabetes and the moment patient come to us, we just start, putting medications, insulin and all those things. But, diabetes, it is like insulin resistance develop 10 to 15 years before someone has a, full blown diabetes. Same way in cardiovascular diseases, we we just jump to, putting a stent or doing bypass surgery when patient come to us in a heart attack condition. And that's totally fair in the given situation. But the area where I want us to focus on that even the cardiovascular disease, the plaque that we are addressing, they don't develop in week or month. It takes years. So you know what? That is our opportunity, and that is the cost as a human we pay if we miss that opportunity. If we don't address our diet, exercise, stress level, we will eventually, reach to the position or the situation where we have to address these diseases. So the cost is very high. Cost is our life. And along with that, there is a big, financial part to that too. As earlier I mentioned, the 6 out of the 10 people have at least one chronic condition. You know what? Currently, the America is a country where we spend 18% of our GDP on healthcare, and out of which 90% is spent on chronic disease management. Management. I'm not talking about the prevention. So you can see that how much resources we are spending on healthcare, and still the people are feeling sick. They are not like living to their fullest potential. So the cost is our life, our time, our financial resources, and more than that, the health span that we are losing in pursuit of it.
Absolutely. And I know that you use advanced tools, for example, peptides, hormone optimization, regenerative therapies. So, how do you decide what's appropriate and what's hype?
Yeah, I know the social media, there is so much happening. I mean, we are living in an era where we have, information available everywhere. Sometimes that become overloaded. But,
Right.
that's our opportunity, but as well as challenge. So, and in our clinic, patient come and they ask, you know what, yesterday I saw this peptide on social media. Can I get that? So we really spend time with them and explain them, our strategy is very simple that I shared earlier with you, the 4 foundational pillar of intentional medicine. We talk about anyone comes to us, first we focus on, we spend time with them, hear them, what is happening in their life, what is their, dietary habits, what is their lifestyle, how about their sleep, do they have any stress or not, and how actually they are feeling because of all these things.
Mhm.
And then based on that we do the, clinical assessment and runs the lab or biomarker or other tests that is like hormonal test and those things we run. And once we have the clinical assessment as well as biochemical marker available, then we decide what this patient truly need. And remember, those needs are not only decided or defined by us. That is, it's a collaborative process. We truly try to understand that what this patient wants to do or achieve in their life. I mean, maybe I want to run a marathon, but the other person doesn't want to. They just want to, for them 100-meter is good enough. A perimenopausal, postmenopausal woman, she just want to make sure that, she go through the life with ease, can run her, chores and still don't feel exhausted, right? Versus someone coming to me because they want to do, marathon. So it's your personal goal that we try to address and achieve. And based on that, we stack a lot of different treatment modality, which include not only the treatment, but the regenerative therapy. Because our goal is not only stabilize or slow the disease process, but to reverse it and regenerate. So that's how, we do the things at Eterna.
Absolutely. And I think that it's common that people unknowingly sabotage their own health without even realizing it. And I think it's so easy to do. And going back to what you said, that with social media and just the time we're living in, there's so much information. So sometimes I feel people could be trying to do the right thing and maybe not do the right thing because there's such an overload of information. Sometimes it's hard to decipher what's right and what's not. So why do you think that most people do unknowingly sabotage their own health without realizing it or without meaning to do so?
Again, there is so much information, but they are unable to pick the right information. And I think this is where, as a medical community, we have a responsibility. Trust me, it took me a lot of time to decide for this podcast because I always felt that, medicine speaks itself. But in today's world, no, medicine doesn't speak itself. We have to step up and educate our patient. We have to come out of, clinical setting and share the right information, what they truly need, so that they can differentiate what is good for them, for their health versus something that can, impact their health in a negative manner. So I think that is very important, sharing the right information, evidence-based medicine, the scientific information. Right now, the scientific community, they have put certain guardrails, and they are not the limitation. Those guardrails are placed in place, just because so that, we can provide, or we can guide our people in a right direction, or what is the right treatment, for them at what stage of their life. So I think that is very important, sharing the right information. And this is my request to all, medical fraternity. Come out of the, your examination room and talk to your people, because if you will not talk, then they will get the information which is not scientifically backed up, So it is our moral and ethical responsibility to share the right information.
Absolutely. And speaking about sharing the right information, who should be listening to this podcast? Who should be listening to Intentional Medicine?
I think it is for everyone. It is for everyone who is already on a wellness journey, who want to be on a wellness journey, or who is frustrated with the, traditional healthcare system. And one thing I just want to pause here and say that, this is not any, I'm having any rage, or I am kind of frustrated by the traditional healthcare. No, no way. I have a lot of respect to my colleagues, the education, the knowledge that they have. It is the system that we have built around us is currently not serving its purpose. It is, meant for acute crisis. But currently people are asking, we don't want to reach to the crisis. We want to do something that can help us to prevent or stop us reaching to the crisis. They are talking about prevention. They are not talking about the diagnosis. And
Right.
I think that is something very smart. I just feel like the people are getting so smart these days, even the kids. So this podcast is for everyone who is looking for solution, who's frustrated with the system, or who is maybe, halfway in a wellness journey, or someone who has just started the wellness journey. If you need the right information, I think this is a podcast for you.
Absolutely. And I think it's so good to share that because it really can be helpful for everyone. And especially men too. I know a lot of times it might seem like some of these things that we speak about are geared toward women. So I think that it's so great that this is also inclusive of men and women and, people from different age demographics and really meant for a big audience. And I think that this has been such an informative episode. I'm so excited for the ones to follow. And
Lala,
No.
I want to just add here something. You just said something very powerful.
Mhm.
Health doesn't discriminate. And the intentional medicine, aims to democratize health and wellness. Because as you said, that just because the man, it doesn't mean you are entitled to have certain treatment, or just because women, you have to be treated in certain way. No, intentional medicine is for everyone. As I said that, it is just a different way of thinking about the healthcare and practicing it. It is talking about the prevention. It is talking about how we can reach to our fullest potential. And when we talk about that, everyone deserves.
Absolutely. And I think that this has been such a good first episode of kicking things off of intentional medicine. And I think that if today's episode resonated with you, this is just the beginning. And in upcoming episodes, we're going to break down hormones, metabolic health, regenerative medicine, and what it truly means to design vitality with purpose. So subscribe, follow, join, and rethink what medicine can be, because better health doesn't happen by default. It happens intentionally. So make sure you share this with anyone who you think can benefit from it, which is everyone. So make sure to subscribe and follow. And thank you so much, Dr. Singh. I'm really looking forward to more episodes with you, and I will see you next time.
Thank you so much, Lara.